the Rise Podcast, Episode 2 with Connor Sowinski.
Welcome to Episode 2 for the listeners. We got Connor here. Welcome to the pod.
What's up, bro? Good to be here.
Good, dude. It's good to have you. So, I'm just going to go through and ask you some questions. You just got done with your rookie summer, and now you're leading a team for this next year. What's the vision? Tell me, what is your team going to look like this next summer?
Yeah, bro. I mean, there's kind of two aspects to my vision, numbers wise and then culture wise. I talked to all my recruits about the culture that I want, and that to sum it up in one word, it's just a winning culture, guys that are principle centered. And I'd say the goal, the number part of the vision is if we had 40 guys come out and we did $1 million in rev, that'd be pretty sick. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, but I think when you build on principles, it's just a lot easier. The numbers just translate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you like you said, a winning culture. So when you think about what a winner is, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's actually something I think about for myself a lot. What does it mean for me to win personally, and then to help other people win? The biggest thing that I think about is a winner's reliable. There's a saying winners win, which is kind of goofy, obviously. But the way I think about it is if I control my controllables, I kind of set my life up to be win-win, because whether I got the outcome or not, I did everything in my power, right? You don't have to be perfect, but you have to have perfect effort. And so when it comes to a team is when I get to the summer and it's, April or May 1st or whenever we all go out, did I put everything I had into training my team to be great? And then can they all repeat back to me what winning principles are, right? Everything we talk about here, gratitude, integrity, keeping commitments. Do my guys know that when they knock their first door, if they control the controllables, they'll win?
So it's really, for you, it's process over outcomes. The more that you can just focus on what's in your control, the higher chance you have of your outcomes being what you want them to be. If you're a rep and you want to go make $100,000 in a summer, don't focus on the $100,000. Focus on everything that's in your control that will earn you the $100,000. That's what's going to get you there.
Yeah, exactly. Something I repeat to myself all the time is SIP, which is stay in process. And so it's that's how you expand your circle of influence or your circle of control, is by staying in there. And so $100,000 is great. I think there's a time and place to be obsessed with that, or to think about that vision and keep that as a forefront thought in your mind. But presence in what you're doing, when you're at the door with the customer, thinking about that 100K is going to hurt you, right? Rather than staying rooted in your principles and what you know how to do, and staying in the moment with them. That's what's going to push you towards that sale, which compounds to the next and the next and the next and next, right? And then you get to the end of the summer, you're wow, I reached my goal.
Yeah, that's great. So you came out, you just got done with your rookie year, you killed it. What would you say if someone's going out and going into their rookie summer, what's one piece of advice you would give them to go achieve their goals or go have a big rookie summer?
Yeah, I just trained on this, but the biggest thing I'd say is getting really, really clear as to why you're coming to do this. Everybody will have a phase at the beginning of the summer when they're dang, this is harder than I thought, or I'm not perfect at selling yet, or no matter how long they trained. And so if they have a really, really deep reason why, though, why they're out there, and they understand what it is that attracts them to Moxie, and why they're gonna go grind and do this hard thing for 100 days or longer, then it's just way easier to get through that initial hard phase, and then after that it's just exponential, because your skills just keep compounding. And so yeah, if there was one thing I could go back and tell myself, like, I think I attribute a lot of my own success this summer to having a really deep why when I came out. Because even, like, when I had dips during the summer, like, when I thought I knew how to sell at a really high level, like, having a deep why would get me through those times. But if I could go back, I would tell myself to get even clearer on it, and then to just stay in process.
I think too, like, the key to having a deep why is basing it on internal factors. So many people, it's like, well, why do you want to go sell a lot of pest control, or why do you want to go do summer sales and make a ton of money? And for them, it's like, I want to buy this sick car, or I want to live in this house, or I want this lifestyle. Those things are great. There's nothing wrong with those things. It's just they're all external factors. And so if you can change and base your why on something internal, and it's like, no, like, who are you becoming by making that much money? Like, who are you going to become through this really difficult thing that is summer sales? Then when it's Thursday in the middle of July and it's like 95 degrees and you just got the door slammed in your face, you're not thinking, well, how bad do I want this really sick car? Or how bad do I want the lifestyle? Or how bad do I want the house? You're thinking, well, who am I on August 31st? And, like, what does that version of me do right now? And if you're really clear on the answer to that, you'll go knock the next door. Like, it'll just drag you to the goal that you've set.
I think a really applicable thing that, like, every rookie can do, and that I would have told myself to do, would be get really clear on who you're becoming, which is your why, like you said, and make sure it's really intrinsic. And then just as often as you can, ask yourself how that guy acts. Like, what does that person do in every situation? Like, when things are going really, really good, what does that person do? Like, when things aren't going good, what does that person do? When you have things outside of sales that are in your head or that are taking your focus, like, what does that person do? How good is that person at compartmentalization? Like, how focused are they? How disciplined are they? What does their routine look like? If you're going to obsess over something during the summer, I'd obsess over how the ideal version of yourself acts, because that's just going to be way more productive for you than, like, obsessing over the number or the car at the end. Because the person that acts that way and, like, the ideal version of yourself is just the type of person that would have that car or would have that amount of money anyways. And so if you act in perfect accordance with them as much as you can, you just will be that person. And you'll, like, it's like the best feeling ever, because you genuinely, you wake up on, like, your last day of the summer. I remember those last few weeks feeling like every day I was, like, closer and closer to who I wrote out I was going to be in May, you know, which is sick.
No, dude, it is sick. Something that kind of upsets me is when people say believe in yourself. And that sounds kind of funny, but like if you have this goal, let's say you have this goal to go make $100,000 in a summer, and you've never done that before, why would you believe in yourself? Like, you've never done it, so, like, why would you believe in yourself? Instead, get really clear on who you have to become and the type of person that you have to become in order to achieve $100,000, and then believe in that guy. Believe in that version of yourself. Believe in August 31st David or August 31st Connor, and just continue to believe in that guy. And then before you know it, August 31st will come and you'll wake up that morning, you'll be like, oh, wait, I am that version of me. And then you can believe in yourself, right? And you can believe in yourself for the rest of your life that you made $100,000, because that's the version of that's the person that you had to become in order to achieve that. But until you've actually achieved the goal, don't believe in yourself. Figure out who you need to become in order to achieve the goal and believe in that guy. And then it'll happen. It's like the law of attraction. So, dude, that's good. What let me ask you this. So you're building your team right now. As you're going through the hiring process, what's like the blueprint sales rep for you? Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's a good question. I think, like, the main principles that I lay out with everybody that I interview or anyone that I'm having a meeting with is just, I just want it to be, like, so incredibly clear to them how important keeping commitments are. I think if I were to like have a blueprint rep, it's like a pretty simple, like it can be anybody, right? But as long as they're, and I say this all the time, like this is one of the things I ask myself in my interviews, is this guy open-minded to two things, training and culture, right? Because like you can come out and you can make like 60K, 80K, $250,000, like whatever, like the sky's the limit. But if you're not a better person on August 31st than when I found you, I failed as a leader, right? And so a blueprint rep, honestly, is just somebody that's open-minded to it. That's going to like say like David and Connor and like any other team leader in Moxie went out and did this hard thing already. Like I'm going to be open-minded to their training. They're going to take training really, really seriously. And then they're just going to understand what kind of culture we have, which is a culture of growth. That's the only way to label it, is like, we just want to grow in every aspect, right? Not just in sales, but like we're here to become better people. And so someone that's open-minded to that is going to thrive here, like, period. And so that, like, I tell all of them like almost that exact thing. And then like if that makes them nervous, that's fine, but that just might not be someone that would thrive here. If that kind of hypes them up, then cool, great, like they'll probably just like do really well.
Yeah, I think setting expectations is just huge.
Massive.
Like if you set clear expectations with people and it's scary to them, they probably wouldn't have sold well anyway.
Yeah.
But if you set clear expectations with people and it hypes them up, amazing. They'll probably sell a ton of pest control. It's probably a great fit for the culture, you know? So that's sweet. So tell me, like, this summer, you just had your rookie summer and you killed it. What was like a morning routine for you during the summer?
Yeah, bro. So my morning routine is pretty like rigorous. I was pretty minute to minute. That's just a system that works for me. So like, just like walk you through it. So I woke up at 6:15 every day, and I had a commitment to get out of bed immediately upon waking up, which might not be that good for your nervous system, but I'd get immediately out of bed, shower, get dressed. I write gratitude every morning. So I'd write gratitude, and then I'd read my two basically like goals or visions. So I'd read my goal for the summer and my like why and my vision there, and then I'd read like my 5-year vision and goal. So I'd do all that. I'd eat breakfast. I go straight to the gym. It was pretty intense. Like, so I would hit the gym from exactly 8:15 to exactly 9:15. And so like if I got to the gym at 8:13, I'd wait in my car for 2 minutes until I walked inside. And so and like there were so many days where it was like 9:13 and I was like doing a plank or something, and I'd just have to hold it until 9:15 because I just knew like I couldn't leave the gym until I was done. And so leave the gym at 9:15, and then I would just go home, get ready, eat again, go to the office, eat at the office while we do our training and stuff. A lot of food, yeah. And then we'd go hit the doors.
That's sick. What do you feel like if you're a rookie just starting out and you're trying to build out your morning routine, like what advice do you give to rookies for trying to build out their own routine?
I get really like fired up when we talk about like systems and routines, because like a lot of people, including myself, have become like kind of a servant or a slave to their own system, right? And they kind of forget that the system's meant to serve you. And so I guess the number one thing for any rookie that's trying to build out a good system and a good routine is just pick the things. It's super simple. It kind of sounds dumb. Like, just pick the things that give you joy. Like, the more joyous and the more enthusiasm you can be going in a morning meeting and then going onto the doors, like, the customer feels that energy. Like, you're just going to build trust at the highest level if you're just full of enthusiasm and joy. Like, and people will buy because of that, right? Like, that'll just bring you so much success in so many endeavors in your life. And so, like, there's obviously commitments are made to be kept. Like, I would, like, be really strict and stern with yourself when it comes to commitments. But, like, if you have this morning routine laid out and it's, like, so rigorous that you, like, have anxiety, you're not going to, like, fit everything in, that's hurting you. And not only is that hurting you, that's hurting you every day. So like that's compounding. So just like pick the things that give you joy. For me, like I love journaling. Like writing gratitude in the morning like brings me some of the most joy that I have all day, right? Like hitting the gym I'm super passionate about. And so like I just figured out a way to fit that all in and then kind of fit my commitments around that so that I can just go into every day with confidence that I kept all my commitments, and then just a lot of joy and enthusiasm because like I have a system that serves me. If I was like I had like car issues like part of the way through the summer, and that threw me off my morning routine for a little bit. And that was my best week in the summer because I just understood that my system served me. I wasn't going to let a broken system temporarily break me. Right. And so,
Yeah. No, dude, I think that's sick. I think if anything, like if I were to give any advice to a rookie who's trying to build out his morning routine for the summer, just like make it simple. Like make it simple, make it, like you're saying, something that is going to bring you joy, and then just stick to it. Like I think it's less about the routine you have and more just about actually making it a routine, like doing it every single day, no matter what. Because everyone builds out the perfect routine and then they stick to it for 2 weeks and then they wonder why they don't get the results they want. It's like consistency over intensity is the key. So like you don't have to build this crazy rigorous routine. You just have to make it a routine. You just have to be consistent with it. And if you just do that, then you'll know if it works or not. It's like right now I'm bulking, right? And like I just barely started out with a set number of calories, and like I actually over the first couple days like I lost weight, and I think a lot of people like they would see that and then they would just kind of freak out and they're like, oh, the diet doesn't work, never mind, and they just like forget it, right? But no, it's just like stay the course. Like keep eating the set calories, keep sticking to your macros, keep sticking to what you committed to do, and then 2 weeks later you'll start seeing the results. 3 weeks later you'll start seeing the results. It's the same thing in the summer. Like people get out there and they don't sell for their first couple of days and they freak out and they're like, they question their lives, you know. It's like, no, just stick to it. If you don't sell for the first 2 weeks, that's fine. Like you'll still go sling if you just stick to it. If every single sales rep just had the mindset of like, I'm just going to be here and figure this out no matter what it takes, they would all go sell a ridiculous amount of pest control. But the key is having the mindset in the first place. So many people, they get out there and they're like kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And it's like, let's see how this goes. No, just burn the boats, burn the ships, and decide you're going to be there till August 31st. And I promise the sales will come. But that's way easier said than done. Like so many rookie reps, especially, like they just have a hard time approaching it with that mindset. It's more like, oh, like we'll see how this goes. But if they can just be fully committed, then they'll win like every time.
Well, it's similar to like the question about like vision that you asked me a little while ago. Like James Clear says that you don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. And so like pick a system that the ideal version of yourself just would follow. Like, and that's really easy to get like dialed in. I think that's one of the most applicable ways to figure out who you kind of want to be is just asking yourself, well, what does that person do day to day? And like, what system do they follow? What morning routine do they have? Right. And then just do that and just commit to that. Like you were saying, if you follow the same system until for 100 days until August 31st, then like you'll just become who you want to be. And then like you said, I mean, sales will just come. You'll just end up selling a lot of pest control. So yeah.
I think it doesn't make you special to have big dreams. Everyone has big dreams. Everyone has big goals. That doesn't make you special. What makes you special is breaking that down into small commitments and then just being ruthless on keeping your commitments, because the people that can do that, they achieve their dreams and they achieve their goals. Yeah. But there's a reason why everyone has dreams and goals and isn't living their dreams and goals. It's just because their inability to keep their system and their commitment that's actually going to get them there. Mm-hmm. So many people, it's like there's that classic quote, right? They overestimate what they can do in a year and they underestimate what they can do in a decade. Mm-hmm. And it's true. Like, especially I think with the younger generation, like the younger generation, they overestimate what they can do in a month. Like they tap out after a couple of weeks of the same system. Yeah. So I think that is one thing that's special too about sales is like you're just trained to lock in for an extended period of time. And when you don't see results, doesn't matter. Just stay locked in. Just keep going. Just like stay the course. And then eventually, if you just do that for long enough, like again, volume negates luck. So like the results will happen, but just stay process oriented. Execute your process perfectly and take confidence in that, and then all the results and the outcomes that you want will just happen.
That's why stay in process is like. If I could give honestly, one piece of advice to every rookie, like it would be stay in process, because exactly what you're saying is like, if you attach yourself to esteem to like how good you are at controlling your controllables, I think you'll just be really, really successful, like in every realm of your life.
Dude, that is honestly so true. I think maybe the biggest difference that separates rookies that quit or go home and rookies that go kill it and make thousands and thousands of dollars doing this is like the ability to base their confidence off of their commitment keeping ability versus the basing your confidence off of your outcomes. And it's like reps that fail, they base their confidence off of outcomes. Reps that succeed, they base their confidence off of their ability to execute their system. That's just the difference. The irony is the less you care about the outcomes, the more you care about your commitments, the higher chance you actually have of achieving the outcome you want. But so many guys, they come out and they're like, I want this outcome, and they obsess over the outcome, but then they don't have obsession over the commitments, or their confidence isn't attached to that. And so they just don't have enough drive to like get what they actually want because they don't care about the system. They just want the thing, and then they realize it's harder than they thought. So then they give up, you know? Dude, yeah, that's so good. Okay, what else? This is a good one. So you just got done with your first year. You're about to lead a team. Why should someone do door-to-door sales over like any other job?
Yeah, bro, that is a good one. I think the biggest thing for me, at least, is just like, well, I know why people should do door-to-door sales here, because we're principle based, right? And just like I tell all my buddies that ask me like why I do door-to-door sales, or like what drew me to, or when I'm in a meeting, you know, giving a guy an offer, and I'm like telling them my story. The biggest thing is that like two things: my level of communication, how effectively I can communicate now, is just like worlds and worlds better than what it was. And then I think people really underestimate how confident you can become as a person. Like they think they can like achieve a certain level of confidence, or like they have this notion of what it means to be confident in yourself and your ability to go do hard things and to go win. Like door-to-door sales, I remember Hayden Schaap called it like the fiery furnace, because like any weakness you have in you during the summer knocking doors will be burned out of you, like period. And you're just going to be left with the most like refined, gritty, strong, like confident pieces of yourself, and that's just going to translate to everywhere else in your life. And so yeah, when it comes to door-to-door sales, like other than just like getting really good at persuading people and like making an incredible amount of money and being confident, making commitments, and like I could go on and on and on, like you're just forced to become better. Like if you had a guy that like didn't even care about getting better at all, but he committed to the whole summer, he would just find that in the process he would just become way better. Like without vision, without anything like that, that stuff's all really important to actually going where you want to go long term. But like the summer will force you to become more confident and more well-spoken, if nothing else. Right? And I just think that goes so far in like your relationships and in any other career that you go in. And so, yeah, when it comes to door-to-door sales, I mean, like there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I tell this to my rookies all the time. Like, I even tell you this, like if there's somewhere else, some other industry that I could be in where I'd grow more, that's where I'd be. But there isn't. That's like end of story.
At least you haven't found it yet.
Period.
Yeah. No, me too, dude. Like the amount of people that I'll be in a meeting with before the summer, and they're looking me in the eyes and they're like, dude, David, I'm gonna be your hardest working sales rep. Like, I'm so locked in. Like, I'm gonna be the top sales rep. Da 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 da. And it's like, I want to believe you, but just show me. Like, I love the person that I'm talking to right now, but I want to meet you in August. And whoever's there in August, like, that's who you really are. So it just excites me. Like, every summer I've got all these guys that promise me they're a dog, and every summer we see who the real dogs are, and that's just comes August, the August crew.
The August crew, yeah. I mean, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier with, like, winners win. Winners are just reliable, and they attach their, like I said, like, their confidence to what it is they're doing, their actions, like, rather than their words, because I mean, it's just really easy to say you're gonna go do anything. Even myself, like, I was so hyped up going my first summer, and there was all these things I said I was going to do. What made the difference is that I had these things that I said I was gonna do. I made commitments that would ensure that I at least moved the needle towards achieving those things, and then I kept those commitments perfectly. And, like, winners are reliable in every aspect of their life. The way you become reliable is by reliably and consistently keeping commitments. And so, yeah, that's huge, bro.
Okay, dude, last one. Like, sales skills and training, that's such a big part of what you do and what I do. Why are skills of persuasion and influence so important to develop for anyone?
Anyone or just in our industry?
Both.
Yeah, bro. I think, like, especially skills of persuasion and influence, I think it just ties really deeply into understanding people, like, and how to win friends and influence people. Carney talks about seeking first to understand, then to be understood, right? And so I think that's 80% of the battle in skills of persuasion and influence is if you understand why people do things and why they view you or a situation or a product a certain way, it's just really easy to, like, guide them into understanding your viewpoint, right? Which can lead someone to make a buying decision in any industry. And so I think it's just cool, to be honest, to understand, like, the psychology behind, like, body language and verbals and paraverbals and why they work. And that's cool. But rather than just using those things to, like, get what you want, by understanding how those principles work, you just become better at understanding people. And then you can just serve people at the highest level because you understand how to, like, I remember I specifically wrote down in my vision, like, for my vision last summer, I wrote down, this would have been like 10 months ago or a year ago. I wrote down that, what was the specific wording? I said that I influence people to make a decision that will better their quality of life, right? So if that's your intention with everything in developing skills of persuasion and influence, then you're just doing a good thing. You're serving people. But I think that just translates into everything else in your life, your relationships, any other career that you could go into. And so, yeah, that's why, for me at least, that's why persuasion and influence is huge, crucial.
Yeah. I think sales skills themselves, sometimes they have a negative connotation associated with sales skills. Like, the skill set of persuasion and influence is neutral. It's not good it's amoral, right? It's not good or bad. What makes the skill set good or bad is the values and the morals of the person that holds that skill set. So, like, you go look at any dictator over the course of history, likely they had skills of persuasion and influence, and they just use those skills of persuasion and influence to affect super negative change on the world, right? And the reason they did that is because of their moral compass, their bad values, their bad morals. But you look at anyone who's gone and changed the world for the good, like, I mean, you look at Martin Luther King, that dude had amazing skills of persuasion and influence, and he changed the world in a really positive way. But what was the difference? It wasn't the skills, It was just his morals and his values. So I think, again, that skill set sometimes has this negative connotation with it, but it really is about the person that holds the skill set. And if you're a good person who actually wants to affect change, who wants to be the best father possible, or the best mother, or the best leader, or like server in your community, whatever that is, like having skills of communication, persuasion, influence, that will just help you to do that at a higher level than like if you didn't have those, right?
That's huge. I mean, like literally anybody watching this podcast right now has some sort of idol or somebody that they look up to, and that's because that person to some degree has a skill of persuasion and influence, right? Has persuaded and influenced them to follow them, which I could like go give a TED talk about how that ties into leadership. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's exactly what you said. Like, how are you using that skill? Because I have heard, like, it's often viewed as like manipulative or something like that, you know. And so, but it's only manipulative with malintent. And so, like, if you're using it to selflessly serve people, and like I said, like guiding people to make a decision that will better their quality of life, then I mean, you're just spreading a lot of good, and that'll, like I said, that just translates to everything else in your life. I think that's like why I love doing what I do, especially here at Moxie. Like, everything you do here just translates positively into anything else you do anywhere else. And so it's like Tim always says, like, the way you do anything is the way you do everything, right? And so I think that's just like, that's true in the summer. You watch that happen, how your behaviors translate into your success. And then you just watch that spread into everything else in your life. Just sick, so.
It's fire, bro. Dude, thanks for being on.
Yeah, bro.
This was good. Cut. That was good, bro.
That was fire.
You killed that.
Let's go.
There's gonna be some fire content in there.
Yeah. Was there enough quotes? Was I quote farming hard enough? I think so.
Dude, you have your quotes down.
Was
pat.
like quote
I was like, are you like a senator, just like always